Good to see you all. Thank you very much. Usual drill from us, and quite smaller, less busy room than some in recent weeks. Jeremy from Sky lead us off. Paul from VLP to go straight afterwards. Anything else under immediate embargo can go at that point. We'll have an embargo session 10:30 p.m. tonight for the papers tomorrow. Camera can keep running through that session as long as the embargo is acknowledged. Camera's happy? We'll start with Jeremy when you're ready.
Hi, Thomas. Can we just check on the team news first of all? Any fresh injury news after the Saturday end? Sharda and Hickey, any chance of them being involved in Manchester?
No touch with fresh injuries. All is available from the squad against Liverpool. Hickey and Sharda is still a bit further down the line.
Okay, this is a rearranged game from December the 23rd, and it's the second time in 15 days you're playing City. It also means you're playing 4 away games in the next 5, so the fixture schedule's been skewed quite badly by this rearrangement. Is it sort of unjust?
Yeah, I'm a big, how can I say, maybe not believer, but it is what it is. We need to meet all the teams home and away. Sometimes it looks more difficult with the games. We had Tottenham away, what was it? City home, then Wolves away, then Liverpool home, then City away. That's a difficult fixture list, but it is what it is, and we wanna play in the Premier League, and if we play in the Premier League, there's a lot of good teams.
And Chelsea showed, didn't they, in Manchester, that it's not mission impossible going to the Etihad, and you, of course, the last team to win in the Premier League there. So, how optimistic are you?
It's odds against, of course, for us to go there and beat City, but we need to believe that we can do it, because if you don't believe you can do it, then there's no reason for us to turn up. So every game we go into, we believe we can do something, get something out of it, and essentially, of course, believe we can win it. We are playing against, many have said it, they are the best team in the world right now. They won the treble last year. They are still right in the top of the league. I know they are a few points behind Liverpool, but it's about where they are with 3 games to go. So let's see if they're not in and about there to potentially win it again. They're definitely in the mix to win Champions League again. So and the squad and the players. So there's a big challenge, but still only 11 players on the pitch, and let's see.
And 2 weeks ago they ran riot in Brentford, didn't they? Before Foden was magic, basically. How are you going to stop him this time?
Good question. For Foden he's a very good player. For me, he's the closest I think England get to potentially get a Ballon d'Or winner in the future. I think he got that potential, or that level. I think he influenced the game in so many ways. Last game he got on the end of 3 situations, scored 3 goals. He's very good dribbling. He's very good. Can slide people in, work very hard. Seems to have a good mentality. I don't know him personally, but looks from the outside to have a very good mentality in terms of working hard. So he is he's very good. But there is so many good players. We talked about before: De Bruyne, Haaland, Rodrick, Doku. I know Grealish maybe is injured. Silva, Alvarez. Yeah, the whole team actually, basically.
What's been said after the weekend, and how worried are you looking at the table?
Say again, what's been said?
What's been said after the weekend, and how worried are you looking at the table?
I think it's important when you look into the single game that is never as good or never as bad as straight after the game. When we analysed it, I thought there was 3 key areas that we had to look into. First, we conceded 1 goal and a big chance opportunity from our defensive transition, from our set pieces that Liverpool created, which is very unlikely us. It was the first goal we conceded in 2 years from that aspect, and we are very offensive on our offensive set pieces and very brave, and we will continue being that. But we just need to adjust the small bits that led to the goal and the chance. That was the one area. 2, we simply giving Liverpool a good And I mean what I said. I think on the final third, I think they are potentially the best offensively because they're difficult to close down. But we don't have to give them 3 of the goals at least. So that was the thing we looked into. And then I ended on a big positive. I thought that first half we were the best team. I said after 35 minutes, but when I looked back, I thought we gave only the 2 defensive transition away in open play, more or less, and we had a lot of dangerous situations and chances, opportunities that we should have got more out of. So that's the positive that we need to take away from the game.
Neal Maupay is going up against Kyle Walker again. Tomorrow night, after the game 2 weeks ago, there was a lot said and written about what was maybe not said or was said. Are you going to tell him to rein it in and not try and wind up Kyle Walker?
I think he's also going up against Foden again and Roderick, and Ivan is going up against Kyle Walker, and I don't know what's been said and what. Let's talk about football. Isn't that what we would like to discuss? I like to discuss football.
And me too, but he's given an interview, quite an interesting one this weekend, Neil, where he's been called the wind-up king of the Premier League. And he said basically it's all a bit of fun. He's not crossing the line, and it's part of his game. And do you agree with what you hear when you say that?
To be fair, it's always need to be aware. I haven't seen the interview, so I don't know exactly. Of course, I trust you, Jeremy, and what's said there.
Impressive.
I think all players are different. What is getting them to tick and what they think is important for them to perform. That I always respect. I think in terms of winding players up, I think it's part of the game. It's that part where it's a fine line not to cross. If he does that or not, I don't know. I think as far as I know, Neal's a good guy and a good teammate, and he's very good for us.
Sure. And just finally, Thomas, 8 defeats in 10. Looking at the table, how worried are you?
I think it's important that one thing is very sure: we can't change anything if we look at the table. If we were 7th or we were 7th, we'd like to push for 6. Now I don't know, what are we, 14, 15, whatever we is, I can't remember. Then we want to push for a position higher and then a position higher. And I'm a big believer of that. If you are looking backwards when you're running forward, it's difficult to run fast. So I think we should focus on what is just ahead of us, and that's Man City. Away, the biggest challenge in the world right now in world football, but we're ready for it and we believe we can get something out of it. You're welcome.
Thomas, what was the key to winning there last season?
We hit a very high level in every. We need to play almost a perfect game again, and especially defensively. I think we, in general, are good defensively, and we don't give much away. But this season we've been giving more away than usual. Chances, goals that we normally haven't seen us give away. And that's the big thing we are trying to adjusting. Also heard something that apparently I think the last 24 games that I have changed my back 3 or 4 or 5, whatever we call it, including keeper. A lot of times, 19 times we played a different setup at the back, which is doesn't help, but that's part of it. And there's things the goals we conceded, we still need to avoid no matter how many players I'm changing.
You did defend very, very well up there last season, like you say, you have to, but you were also very positive. You weren't sitting back and praying. And they were in incredible form. I think they'd won all 11 home games in all competitions before you'd gone up there. So when you tell your staff and your players, we're going to go up there, we're going to go at them, we're going to be positive, is there ever a raised eyebrow, or,
No, I think the players believe that we can do something. We are very aware we're facing a top team, but a couple of things we know that our defensive structure and mindset are very good. The way we defend, there's a lot of team principles and individual principles into a lot of training into that. And we're very good to defend low, but also we try to be aggressive, also go high and go man, are brave there. And hopefully that pays off sometimes. And on the ball, we also try to be brave and be positive and run forward and try to create chances. We know they'll probably have the ball more, but can we, also in the home game, I think there was a sequence where we were putting these 5 to 10 passes together and then behind them or then switch. Because we know that there will be opportunities.
Talking about the back line, obviously Kristoffer Ajer came in at the weekend. He's only started, I think, 9 Premier League games in about a year because he's been so unlucky with injuries and so on. How's he been during that period?
When he was injured, or the whole year?
Was he itching to play?
Yeah. No, he's been. I think he came into the team. Can't remember, in the fall, and then I think he had some very good performances actually, and it was like, well, okay, he's really stepping in the right direction. Then unfortunately he got injured, and now it was his first start in a while, I think, and I think he did very well. I think Ethan Pinnock is very difficult to replace. He's a top defender and so important for us in every aspect. But I think Kristoffer did very well against Liverpool. I think he found some very good defensive positions we wanted, and we're winning. I think 9 out of 10, except one that was quite crucial, aerial duels. So he's in a good place. I'm pleased with what I'm seeing.
He's up against a rather famous countryman. Have you seen an extra spring in his step this morning?
Nah, not. I think just looking forward to the game. I could imagine, and the one-to-one battle with Holland. I'm pretty sure there'll be a big story in the Norwegian media.
Fair enough. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anything else before we go under embargo? We'll go to Sam.
So, against Chelsea, with City, sorry, Chelsea won 14 aerial duels. They also completed 54 clearances. Now, Ethan Pinnock ranks first in the Premier League for clearances. He also ranks second to Van Dijk for aerial duels won. So I wondered just how crucial is his loss, and how do you go about sort of replacing his influence?
Massive player for us, and I also think he's been in general underrated in the Premier League. Ethan, I think as a defensive centre back on the defensive side of the game, I think he is absolutely fantastic, and I think he is top 6 level there in many ways. So of course it's difficult, but it happens, and it's up to me and the players and others to step up. And I'm actually very pleased with what I've seen from Kristoffer in the last game. He just stepped into his role. I think Kristoffer got some of the same abilities as I said. I think maybe it was not 9 out of 10, but it was like 7 out of 8 or something. Like, he got really high numbers in the aerial duels, and got some of the same ability and physicality to be good in the air. So hopefully he will find that level quick. So I'm confident that Kristoffer can do a very good job for us.
And I was reading a piece in the Times where it said that Chelsea could have been 3 up before half-time had they had Ivan Toney up front. Now, you obviously do have Ivan Toney up front. Just how important is he going to be?
Then I hope we're going to be 3 up at half-time. Ivan is important, very important. He's done unbelievable well since he came back. Is it 4 and 5 or something like that? That's a remarkable number. So we'll be happy if he keeps that number of goals throughout the next games. He, besides the players, also he makes his teammates better. He makes the team better. So I think that's a big part of it.
And what sort of attributes would you say he brings to your side that will help you in this game?
I think his hold-up play and link-up play is crucial. That is the aerial side of it, but it's also everything coming around him. He's very good to find a set, a flick, keep the ball, and find a teammate, and that's massive. Of course, his finishing qualities. He's calm, composed, and he seems to be there where the chance is going to appear, and then as a leader, big personality, he always helps the team.
And so Mads Roerslev, he's a player who divides opinion amongst Brentford fans, but his ability to sort of break into space and support both Toney and Maupay, I think is a crucial part of your team, and it's also something that worked to your benefit against Tottenham. And I was just wondering whether you could sort of elaborate on what Roerslev himself will bring to the side against City.
I think it would be both wing backs that need to come flying forward, both for the switch, but also for the runs in behind. No doubt about that. I think Roerslev, he's very good at that. He's got a very good capacity to go up and down, and he's a willing runner, because sometimes you feel tired, or so even you got the capacity, but he's willing to constantly come going forward on the half transitions. So I'm pleased with his consistency in the way he plays.
And on the other side, it's sort of a battle between King Lewis Potter and Sergio Reguilon in a way. Which are you going to prioritise? Maybe the stability of Reguilon or the more offensive Lewis Potter?
I think King Lewis Potter has done very well for us on the wing back, and it's a situation I can see where he can play both sides actually, and help the team there. He can also play one of the two strikers. I think for now it will still be Reguilon, because he's more like complete on them, also the defensive side. Even that Keane have done very well in that aspect as well. So yeah, let's see.
And finally, concentration's been a bit of an issue for you guys. I see that you can see quite a few goals in spurts. I was wondering whether that is something that you feel there's a word to be had on the training ground, or is that something that you've actually looked at, or is it something that can't really be helped?
What do you consider goals
in spurts, so in spells?
Yeah, spells. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like
I understood that in spells. Yeah. We mentioned it, like, okay, if you concede one, don't concede the next 5 minutes, for example. Of course, we mentioned that and talked about that, because I agree with you, it's important. I think one of the frustrating things from the Liverpool game was that we took 3 good steps forward defensively against Wolves, and then we've taken 2 steps back against Liverpool. And it seems like we are in that season where it's like forward, then a little bit back, forward, a little bit back, constantly. But sometimes you just hit that those spells or those moments in a season. And of course, it can be linked to the injuries. It can also be other bits. We don't know. The most important thing is that we find a solution and improve it.
Yeah, and as you said, it's a little bit to do with not being able to call upon a registered defensive unit for much of the season. Do you think that plays into it quite a lot?
Yeah, I think if you got the same back 4, back 5, playing every single minute, same keeper, all those small relationships, all those small automatisms in terms of principles and everything is just more smooth. No doubt about that. It's not the same that you can't change a player once in a while, but that definitely helps if you've got everyone available.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're now under embargo, 10:30 p.m. tonight.